So here's an example of how to utilize the PEST and the SWOT tools using Starbucks company. First, in looking at the PEST analysis, remember the 5 elements are the political and legal, economic, social, cultural, technological, and demographic. There is also the competitive analysis that will be done at a later date. In the political and legal, you look at what's going on in the industry and see how it could be affecting Starbucks in both a positive and or negative way. So currently, with NAFTA being renegotiated, those terms could affect the price that Starbucks has to pay for imported coffee beans. Additionally, with the trade war going on, there could be higher tariffs on U.S. goods, i.e. Starbucks being exported to China. For the economic, the U.S. economy is growing and consumer confidence is high, as well as the wages are starting to grow, so people have more disposable income. In the social cultural realm, Americans are becoming more green conscious to companies that are recycling and good to the planet, as well as concerned about the social responsibility of companies, i.e. fair trade, getting supplies from suppliers at a fair wage and giving employees a living wage. Some technological advancements are mobile payments are becoming stronger, allowing customers to both order ahead of time and pay using their phone. As well as the advent of social media is letting customers provide direct feedback to companies and either be harsh critics or great evangelists for that company's brand. And then finally, in the demographic realm, the generations are shifting. Generation Z and millennials are now entering the workforce, as well as the baby boomers, the largest generation population, are starting to retire and no longer commuting to work. Some questions to look at when doing this PEST analysis would be, are the NAFTA agreements and the Chinese tariffs a positive or negative aspect? That would determine if that would be an opportunity or a threat. Similarly, with the economy booming, is it good or bad for Starbucks to have people with greater disposable income and spending power? Are the social and cultural trends of the green economy and social responsibility an opportunity or a threat to Starbucks? With 70 million new workers entering the workforce and commuting, the demographic shift, assumingly wanting coffee on their way to work, is that an opportunity for Starbucks or is that a negative aspect? What about the baby boomers who are coffee drinkers buying coffee from Starbucks and retiring and staying at home? And how does the advent of mobile payment technology hurt or help Starbucks? What about the social media trend? And then finally, do take a look at competition, as Dunkin' Donuts and Peet's Coffee are trying to go after Starbucks market. How can Starbucks defend or you see those competitors as new opportunities? Once you've done the PEST analysis, now you can move on to the SWOT analysis. And remember, the SWOT analysis is made up of their strengths and weaknesses, which are internal to the company. Some strengths might be that Starbucks has a strong brand identity as a coffee purveyor. They have a large and loyal customer base. They have a very strong and self-owned retail network. And they have a strong grocery network through their partnership and joint ventures with Pepsi distributors. Some weaknesses are that Starbucks' rapid growth has eroded the customer experience and the product. They started pre-grinding beans, pre-making the coffee, thereby taking away the core competency of Starbucks. Some critics have said that their reliance on joint ventures and licensed stores helped remove some control that Starbucks has over that quality. And finally, some people feel that the Starbucks price is very expensive and not within their means. Looking back now to the external aspects of the company, this is your opportunities and threats. And these can be directly derived from your PEST analysis. Just simply look at those PEST analysis, those questions we answered, and convert them into either an opportunity or a threat to Starbucks. With the economy growing and the wages growing, people have more disposable income, which could be an opportunity for Starbucks. With the consumers becoming more green and socially conscious, Starbucks can fulfill their mission and see opportunities for future growth and brand loyalty there. With the technology creating an easier payment and communication with the company, they could increase that loyalty with with the Starbucks customer. And finally, a new target market is entering the marketplace with the Gen Z and millennials entering the workforce, commuting to work, and assumingly wanting coffee on that commute. Some of the threats out of that PEST analysis are the NAFTA changes affecting the price in coffee beans, possibly making them higher. Also, the tariffs for exporting products to China has gotten higher. The generational shift of baby boomers leaving the workplace means that Starbucks could be losing a set of loyal customers. And finally, new competition, either changing their strategy or entering the marketplace, could be also a threat to Starbucks. Once you've identified the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, you can then look at each of those quadrants and combine them to come up with specific strategies Starbucks might want to follow to help them achieve their goal, achieve their mission, target their customers, and develop their marketing mix to execute those strategies. If we look at their strengths and opportunities, Starbucks can leverage their strong brand and retail network to invest directly into China, avoiding the tariffs that might appear. They can help develop a PR campaign to promote the greenness of Starbucks, endearing customers who are more green and socially conscious to become Starbucks customers. And they can leverage the technology coming out with that strong retail and grocery network with a mobile app to allow customers to order and pay for their coffee before they show up to the store and have a quicker drive-through experience and greater customer experience. To defend against some of the weaknesses or shift the weaknesses based on the opportunities coming up, Starbucks could train their baristas to promote the green and social conscious mission of the company. To combat against the weakness aspect of the high price against the opportunity of the technology, they could create that mobile app to offer discounts, coupons, and a loyalty program to strengthen the brand and maintain their customer base at a deeper level. And finally, with the advent of the new demographic entering the workforce, Starbucks could create an advertising campaign to target those Gen Z and millennials regarding the value of Starbucks so they don't focus so much on the price. Ways Starbucks can leverage their strengths to defend against threats would be to invest into coffee producing countries and create stable pricing deals. Depending on how NAFTA goes, that would help protect them against any future price increases. Again, they could look to create joint ventures with Chinese tea and coffee distributors, again, to avoid those tariffs and better enter that market. And with the threat of the baby boomers leaving the workforce, Starbucks could leverage their brand and loyalty by creating home-based products such as coffee makers and K-Cups of Starbucks to maintain that customer base that are now leaving the commuting network. And then finally, to defend against the weakness and the threats, again, Starbucks could train baristas to provide better customer service than the competition that is entering the marketplace. To defend against the weakness of the joint ventures eroding their position, they could buy out those joint ventures so they would have more control over their products and prevent the competitors from making deals with the distributors copying them. Or they could simply lower the price of that competition. Now, not all of these strategies need to be followed. This is the creative and brainstorming aspect of doing a SWOT analysis, because that last element of lowering prices wouldn't really appeal to Starbucks because they feel they provide a great value for that price, and therefore the strategy of lowering prices would not be in line with their mission and how they want their brand to perceived. But the point is to put out all of the ideas here and then evaluate them against the mission and the goals and pick one or two or three that now becomes the basis for your target market and the marketing mix that you will develop to reach that target market. The final step in doing a PEST and SWOT analysis is it's also good to do a SWOT analysis for your competitors. So here we have an example of the SWOT analysis for Starbucks and then their competitors McDonald's and Dunkin' Donuts. And the reason for doing a SWOT for the competitors is that if you look at the competitors' weaknesses and threats, those could be opportunities for Starbucks that they could take advantage of. Additionally, Starbucks can better identify what their competitive advantages are by looking at their strengths to the competitors' weaknesses and develop campaigns and promotional campaigns to promote that. And then finally, they can evaluate how are competitors taking advantages of the same opportunities or defending against the threats that Starbucks might have. And they might be able to be more nimble and beat those competitors to the punch.